Welcome back to the show, everybody. You're on and on the triple the G.O.D. live right here on Team GRF TV. Got the whole squadron with me, got the congregation, got Bessie, got Janine. I'm in the building, youth in the building, and yo, we have got a lot of news today. Guilty Gear 20th Anniversary Pack. Now, I've been meaning to talk about this for a while, but for a very long while, until yesterday, there was only one answer you knew. This was exclusively coming to the Nintendo Switch. That's something that has completely changed since then, because now this is also coming to a personal computer near you and also as a PS4. But there is a lot that goes into this, and it's like a lot of what this is going to be is like trying to explain to you, because of what this offers, what you should be facilitating yourself to fill in those blanks. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know, Guilty Gear 20th Anniversary Pack is the original Guilty Gear for PS1 and Guilty Gear AA Accent Core R. You know what I'm saying? The final ultimate version of Accent Core, unless Arc System Works finally decide they're gonna let Mike Z make that super update that he put out there years ago. And if I remember where to find it, I will link that in the description, because it's a dumb changelog like that would really make the game really better. But I figured that I'd give you that. When it comes to that, honestly, that if you are trying to fill in the blanks, at least when it comes from the original Guilty Gear to the end of Double X, is that you have a few stops on the way, and depending on how you get there, because of what country you may live in or what may or may not be available, is that you do have a couple of options. The first and most important option is to play the PS2 Japanese exclusive Guilty Gear X Plus. It's Guilty Gear X just with more things in it and a story mode that it's a long story. You should just go play that. That's the version of X that you should actually be playing and own in your collection, just because. When we get into Double X territory, then that's where it gets a little weird, because of how you have access to certain versions of Double X depending on like what country you live in or what version of a PSP game you bought. Because when it comes to that, is that if you in America, the only legitimate answer you have is to play the Xbox version of Sharp Reload. That is all you have, because that was when, you know, Sony was on a weird little kick of, if it's not this, we won't let you release it, blah blah blah, whatever. So that if you're trying to play Sharp Reload the best way you can, you have either the Xbox version or you have the PC version. That also has NetPlay that still works to this day, actually, just so that you know. So when you get into that, is that Europe actually got Sharp Reload on PS2. So it's like if you want to import a European version of Sharp Reload, you do have that option. Now, we will combine those. When you get to Slash territory, Slash only came out as a port on the PS2 from an arcade game. So it is technically a port of the arcade game. The game does not feature any exposition or story, so you're not missing anything. All of your story beats for Double X so far are in either Double X or Sharp Reload, depending on how you get down. Now, here's the weird thing when we talk about Sharp Reload and when we talk about Slash. This game called Guilty Gear Judgment. So, depending on if you lived in American Europe or you got the Japanese version, is that the American and European versions have a weird stripped down version of Sharp Reload. So that if you need to play Sharp Reload on a PSP, you have that option. The Japanese version of Judgment has Slash on it. So it's like if you want to play Slash, which is the better game, because not only does it have ABBA, but it has My Dude Order Soul in it, that's your option. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do to get down. But even though with those, I wouldn't suggest playing those on the PSP, neither version, because they don't run as good as you think that they should with a system like the PSP, which has pushed out other games. But Guilty Gear, for the time of what it is a very heavy game. So I'm trying to understand, like, it works, but it's not what it is that you want if you're looking for a real, pure Guilty Gear experience. So playing for fun, but not for any reason other than that. And then when you get to Accent Core, it's like 1,000 versions of Accent Core. Your answer is always Accent Core plus R. That's your answer. That is the only answer. Now, there are some deviations to the technical answer depending on what it is that you want to explore. Is that there are actually only two versions of Accent Core. There is the original Japanese port on PS2, which was bugged to all holy hell, and all future versions of Accent Core fixtures every fix from that game. And if you really want to get ignorant, you can buy the appendix that if you put it in after you put in Accent Core, then this is Japanese only, that will let you play Accent Core Plus. So, you know what I'm saying? So you have that option. And I own both Accent Core and the Appendix because I just thought it was just some thing that, especially of when the time it came out, that of the Appendix isn't a full game, but it lets you play a full game if you put a full game in it first. So there's that whole thing. So it's like Accent Core plus R is like on everything for real. Like you can get that on most things nowadays. You can get that on Steam, PS3, 360. Now with this, you'll have it on PS4 available. So you know, so there's a lot of way to play Accent Core plus R, which is the Guilty Gear Double X game. So you know there is that. Now I know in the midst of that I did forget a couple of things. You got X 1.5 in there, but that's only an arcade game and not a lot of people play it. But it's worth the play at least once if you play Guilty Gear X and Guilty Gear Double X, where 1.5 meets it really in the middle. It reminds me a lot of like that transition that for people that are familiar with Melty Blood, of when we were at React and then we were starting to get into Acadenza and the mixing of the two, of it's not quite this but it's not quite that, but it's some kind of meeting in the middle. That's what X 1.5 is. So it's like if you've ever wanted to experience some double X stuff in the Guilty Gear X engine, that's kind of where you get your chance to do that, and it's a really fun meeting in the middle of that type of thing. And that doesn't include that I didn't mention about what it is that Accent Core actually does by doing edition selecting. You've seen that in such games as Street Fighter and Vampire and games like that let you choose all the different versions and all these things. And it's like Accent Core Plus R is the bee's knees. It's something that I wish one game in particular, that being Virtual Fighter 5, would do, but you know, it is what it is with that. So, I hope you've learned something. The other thing, just play Guilty Gear 2 on Steam. It comes with all the DLC, and you can play it on any modern thing. There's no reason for real at this juncture to pull out a 360 to play Guilty Gear 2. Like, as much as I appreciate that back in the day, I bought all the DLC when it came out and everything. The Steam version has it all that, and you can regularly catch that game on sale. So, if you're trying to see, like, what's up before Exert or whatever, that's probably the best way to do it. And Exert is that your story beats are in Sign, and then they trickle down after that. And I think Rev 2 story mode is all of Rev anyway, so you can just play Sign and then just play Rev 2 and you get all the story beats. So, it is what it is with that. So there you go. I'm glad I could help you. Something Guilty Gear Petite that I plan to play on the channel at some point. Fanny just needs to be seen one time by you, and then you get the point of the character. Will Fanny ever come back? Who knows? But we'll see. I'm glad we had this conversation, you know what I'm saying, about how to fill in blanks between a PlayStation 1 game and a game that you can currently buy now, and then after that. And then talking about a WonderSwan game, because, you know, that's just what Uncle Triple do. Welcome. Regardless of that, we've done all this talking about all this stuff because I just wanted you to know that information up front, and we got a lot more information about the 20th anniversary packet of game, because before we get in, before we bring out your girl in my super duper motherfucking magic box, let me say this one thing. The reason why we spent about 7 minutes me explaining all that to you, because that's how much I love this franchise. I have always loved this franchise, and I've always appreciated what it is that it does, because it brings something unique to fighting games. And if you've never played Guilty Gear and you've never experienced it, this is a wonderful chance for you to do so. But I want you to know that you have a whole lot of options on the table to really get down. And I'm really hoping that, you know, as we build up the tech around here, that I would love to show the streets Guilty Gear X 1.5, because there isn't a lot of footage of it. Like, a lot of footage in a way that you understand what the hell is going on, because of when it came out and what it came out on, because it came out on the Atomics Wave, and I don't think our system work is really trying to port that over to anything, ever. Like, Guilty Gear X 1.5 is an arcade exclusive. It is what it is. None of what that game features is featured in anything else. People for years were saying it was featured in the Dreamcast version. That's not true. But I'm just putting that out there and just letting you know what it is. Now, super duper motherfucking magic box, girl, where you at? Super duper motherfucking magic box. Yo, we got a double dose of these trailers. I'm like, the thing was is that, like I said, like when the announcement trailer for this came out a couple of months ago, I wanted to cover it, but at the time, the only thing we knew, it was coming out on Steam, and it's like, I didn't think that was enough information to make a video about, because I'm glad that I know what I know now, because all that exposition about how you should experience this series thus far puts a little more context when you know all the ways that you can get down on this. And there are ways on ways you can get down on this, and we're going to get to that after Super Duper motherfucking Magic Box does something. So, with all of that being said, if y'all ready, I'm ready. The congregation ready. Bess and Janine ready to get busy. Super Duper motherfucking Magic Box is in the building. So, now activating Guilty Gear 20th anniversary. .exe.
Peggy 16.
Rated Peggy 16. Yep. European trailers. No nothing about what's going on. Like, this is when we first found out that the anniversary pack was going to include Plus R. So, you know, I'm glad Plus R is here, because I'm like, yo, Plus R, I would have to say, is probably one of the most balanced video games in history. And by balanced, I mean Guilty Gear balance, which means that it's fair, but it's dumb. But that's what Guilty Gear is. But then Guilty Gear has gotten, you know, and has been dumb and can be dumb, but it's a wonderful fighting game. It's like, it's that next step after Savior that, you know, that the streets needed, and it's like Guilty Gear been holding it down, and it's like I can do nothing but appreciate it. And in the original Guilty Gear, even in the year 2019, it's worth the play just to see where things started and
Peggy
where they
16.
came from. You know what I'm saying? I really think for that alone that it's worth playing. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. There is only that. Something order soul, but we're gonna get to that another day. Are you telling me that these are the same trailers? Because I did not preview these. I did not preview these trailers in any way. That, yep, this is the same exact footage. It's just a longer trailer. So, you know, but that's what we do. See, the pinnacle of 2D fighters. Now, you can agree or disagree with that. Now, I'm like, Guilty Gear is one of the best in the business. Guilty Gear is one of the best in the business, bar none. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got a little Robo guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's sharp reload business. Oh, this is just letting you know that it's coming May the 17th. Oh, and this, we're about to talk about this in a second, the day one edition of this on the Switch. And that's one of the things that I really want to get into, that Super Duper motherfucking Magic Box, by the way, man, thank you so very much. You know, I appreciate it, girl. That, yeah, the only way you can get a physical copy is to buy the Switch version, because that's the only way it's coming out. I don't know if that's some weird exclusive deal with Nintendo, similar to what we'll be talking about later in this newscast about Sensei KR with Tag Team Frenzy. But with all of that being said, yo, Google Chrome, where you at, baby? Google motherfucker Chrome, bitches, was really good. Look, I told you. Look. This is the official English page for this pack, and I just wanted to take a look at this, because there are some things you want to know when we got some PR statements to go through and some things like that, because I want you to know your option, that if you're trying to get down on this, I will spoil a little bit of this for you. Is you can get an English copy if you order it where it is, but it's also coming out in Japanese too. So, you know, depending on how you get down on the get down, I just figured that I'd preface with that first. Classic entries of the Guilty Gear series now back in the newest game console. Well, yeah, that makes sense. That, yeah, you get the original PS1 game, and you get Accent Core Plus R, which is probably one of the best fighting games in the business still in the year 2019. No bullshit. Now, I just want to scroll down a little bit. Like I said, we already know about this. As a twin pack in the Nintendo Switch, we'll get more into how this works on PC and PS4 a little bit later. Now, as we all know, the original Guilty Gear and Accent Core Plus R. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is what I wanted to get into. That for the super duper limited edition of this game, is that you get a Soul Bad Guy pack to carry your Switch joint in. Like, recently, I was looking at something like a Link joint that looked hella dope. I'd rock this really hard. Like, you know what I wouldn't mind? Is that if you guys have ever seen, like, what the journal in the backyard looks like, I would carry my Switch in something like that. You may be familiar with that, because that's the box that Guilty Gear Xrd Sign came in. So you know, if you really know anything about the backstory of Guilty Gear 2 Overture, which you should buy on Steam, we talked about that earlier. But yo, you gotta admit this look dope as fuck. You gotta admit this look extra dope. This look extra dope. Like, I wouldn't mind, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, and of course, Ishitari sign, you know what I'm saying, to put on the design flip, you know what I'm saying? So, the only way that you can get this is by buying that limited edition version. And it also comes with the Guilty Gear On-Air Drafts Collection. I'm like, yo, I'm always a sucker for a good art book, no bullshit. I am always a sucker for a good art book. Like, right now, that if we talking about art books I'm looking for, I'm still trying to get, what is it called? It's called the Darkstalkers something. The Darkstalkers, I can't even think of the name of it right now. Because I saw it in the half-price books when I was there, and it's like the cover was all... the Darkstalkers graphic file, that's what it's called. It's like full of everything and anything you ever want to know about Darkstalkers. So I'm trying to find me a new copy of that. $60. So, you know, it is what it is with that. But, yo, you're going to get a lot of stuff in there, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? If you're interested in the limited edition version, these are your options. You know what I'm saying? Like a video of Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus R coming really soon to you. And coming out May the 16th. So you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is with that. Here's the important thing. Currently there are no plans to ship the physical packages to American regions. We apologize for the inconvenience caused. Now this don't mean that they won't change their mind, but as of right now, as of right this second, we don't know. Maybe they might work with limited games or something. I'm not really sure what it is or what it's going to be. But I figured I would let you know anyhow. Figured I'd let you know. Then, yo. And also, look at this yellow text though. Each title is available individually as a downloadable game. Please note that there will be no releases of the game as individual physical packages, nor a twin pack for online digital packages. So, you either get it this way or you buy each game individually. And I really think that's good because you probably got 96% of people like, why am I playing a PS1 game? So, I don't know. I'm like, maybe the only people this really appeal to, like at least because we know this coming on PS4, is like Steam and PS4 trophy hunters or whatever, that if you're trying to get something, but what does a trophy list for the original Guilty Gear look like for real? Think about that for a second. Like, but I guess that's the reason you would buy the game, like if it got some easy trophies or whatever, and the game like maybe $9-10 or something like that. But we'll see about that, you know what I'm saying? And all this beautiful, beautiful art and stuff. I want to take a look at this P-Cube announcement because I'm like, nothing about this has been talked about anywhere in English other than the stuff is just gonna release and it's just gonna be on PSN and be on Steam and be on the eShop at some point when that date comes. You know what I'm saying? So this is the PR statement that more or less, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, that tells us this information. The most important information, which is this. That is also coming to the PS4. Now, I've heard, like I do mention PC and Steam or whatever because that's not mentioned in this, but it's been mentioned in other things that it was always coming to PC. So it's my understanding that as of right now, the game is still coming to PC, and if anything should change about that. But I wanted to let you know this information, and the rest of this, we'll just scroll through it. It's just Guilty Gear. And like I said, even in the year 2019, Guilty Gear is worth a play. Just if you aren't as familiar with the series as you are, to see the series' humble beginning. I probably own me a copy that I bought from a GameStop years ago for $17.99, and it's in a box somewhere because I have ways to play this game that don't require me pulling out a PS1. So it is what it is with that. And Accent Core Plus R, you know what I'm saying? One of the greatest fighting games in the business today in the year 2019. This game still get played heavily in Japanese tournaments. I'm like, this game is still a competitive video game, and it's like the best of the best of the best of the best show what this game can really truly do, and I appreciate that. So it is what it is with that. Now, here's the other thing that I want to talk about. Shout out to Right Digital. I'm like, they give things a shot that most normally wouldn't. Like, I have them to thank for all of my Galgun limited editions because ain't nobody in America really touching that shit. So, Rice Digital, thank you very much for holding it down. If you trying to get you a copy of the anniversary pack, with all the good stuff, Rice Digital, they gonna have 500 copies, as you can read right here. You know what I'm saying? We went through all this, but I just want to just let you know they gonna have 500 copies of this. 500. So you know that thing gonna sell out. ASAP. So you better have your cheddar ready. Have that money, READY. You better be, I'm ready. Now, let me get my SpongeBob on. But yo, I just wanted to just let you guys know all of that information because I just wanted you to just be aware of what it is. Bring it back to me, please. And there we go. Gotta love pressing buttons live and how that works. Make that adjustment. I gotta get Sonic in the frame. What's up? Yo, Squish was good. Look. The most important part of this video was the first 8 minutes. Like, we took a look at some trailers, we had some fun, we talked about shit. Play Guilty Gear, damn it. That's it. That, again, like I said, for the 4th time, because I've been counting, the original Guilty Gear still worth a play, just at least to see the game's humble beginnings. If you want to fill in the blanks, I gave you everything you immediately needed to know, without mentioning that you should actually play Judgment and purposely remembering that Guilty Gear Asuka does not exist. No, what? What is a Guilty Gear Asuka? What is that? It's a game with a button that lets you focus, and I will say this because just so is out on the internet. There is fun to actually legitimately be found in Guilty Gear Asuka. It's just really hard to find. Seriously, no more bullshit. Like, Guilty Gear Asuka has a little fun in it. It does. It has a little fun in it, but it's not Guilty Gear the way that you need Guilty Gear to be. But if you're looking for some 4-player dumb action, you know what I'm saying, Asuka fills that void for just a little bit. So, get at it, try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're really trying to look for some Guilty Gear, give Asuka a try. I'm not gonna hurt you. Trust me. Uncle Triple, I got you. But I ain't gonna hurt you. Regardless of that, we've got more show for you. So all I can ask is that you sit back, you relax, and stay tuned, man. Got the congregation with me. Got Bessie. Got Janine running in overdrive. Super duper motherfucking magic box. She'll be back with you. And you know I'm gonna be back with you because we bang got more show for you right after these commercial messages. Seriously, go play Guilty Gear. You won't regret it. You're going to have a good time in one of the best fighting games on the planet. Still, regardless of that, more show after these commercial messages.